No one saw this coming with iOS 17. I mean, let's face it, who would have guessed that Apple, a company known for its emphasis on security, would permit sideloading and the use of other app stores? This is not even close to being the best part yet. With iOS 17, Apple will give notifications a substantial revamp to make them more effective and simplified.
Let's get started.
Control Center. The iPhone's menu puts several system settings at the user's fingertips, such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, screen brightness, and volume. The Control Center has stayed the same since iOS 11 came out in 2017. Apple has sadly neglected the Control Center for 6 years, making only minimal changes. It's time they stop that and revamp the menu's design.
I hope so.
The silver lining is that our wait will be brief. The iOS 17 is coming in hot with some serious performance and stability upgrades. And word has it that the new Control Center will be stealing the show as one of the most exciting changes in the update. One thing that would be cool is if Apple could make the Control Center easier to use. Currently, you must go into the Settings app to make any changes, with no shortcut from the Control Center. Anyway, another exciting news from Apple. They're making multitasking even easier. Can you believe it? We're going to talk about this next. Split screen. So far, the best multitasking method Apple has given the iPhone is the Dynamic Island. Using Dynamic Island,
That's innovation!
you can keep specific applications on screen even while you switch between them. You may, for instance, set a timer and monitor it while you go through your social media feeds.
That's convenient.
Well, you can only use this option if you have the iPhone 14 Pro Max or are ready to buy the iPhone 15. That means iPhones without the Dynamic Island need the split screen feature to help people do more than one thing simultaneously. Apple could easily support landscape and portrait modes in its split screen mode. All necessary resources are present, including memory, processing power, and display area. It would be great if we could check Twitter simultaneously as we watch a video on YouTube. The forthcoming iOS would provide screen splitting to mobile devices, just as on desktop PCs. In this method, you can keep both programs open at the same time and multitask with ease. In addition, the Dynamic Island will do much more than just multitask. According to a leak by analyst 941 on Twitter, the Dynamic Island will do a lot more. Marketing department pressured development team to add more to Dynamic Island, most likely to push sales of the standard iPhone 15's release. So, iPhone 14 Pro Max users will enjoy this. If you don't have the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but want to enjoy this, wait for the iPhone 15 because all 4 models will get the Dynamic Island.
Oh, we got to get one of those.
If you're interested in the iPhone 15, subscribe to our channel for additional updates. Well, iOS 17 is getting a taste of the Android flexibility magic. Get ready to add some customization to your home screen. We've got an exciting discussion coming your way. Home screen customization. Customizable lock screen options, such as altering the date and time's text color and size, and glanceable widgets were introduced in iOS 16. However, your customization options are as limited as a toddler's toy box compared to Android's playground of possibilities. Customizing app icons is time-consuming, and the lock screen leaves much to be desired. Excitingly, it's likely that Apple will allow users to change custom app icons either within the app or through the device settings. The lock screen customization process lacks customization and could benefit from additional options for fonts, colors, and a more efficient process.
Will you select your preferences?
iOS 17 will provide us with even more customization options or simplify the steps required to customize our devices. If Apple is doing this, why not spice up their notifications and make them more efficient? It'd be pretty sweet, don't you think? Will the iOS 17 feature this though? Let's find that out. Improved notifications. When using iOS, if you enable notifications, you will get alerts for anything inside the app, unless you change the app's notification settings. The business has made little improvements to iOS alerts each year, but they are still poor. Notification bundles and quick reply support are still in their infancy, and compared to Android, actionable alerts are few. Fingers crossed. Apple will jazz up notifications to make them super cool and easy to use in iOS 17. Just like on Android, you get to be the boss of your notifications.
Pretty cool.
You can choose exactly what kind of notifications you want to receive from each app. Notifications should also be much simpler to delete than they presently are, which requires many taps. While Android's notification history allows you to review previously ignored alerts, we anticipate that iOS 17 will have similar functionality. Another Android thing is coming, and this will make Steve Jobs might just blow a fuse when he hears about this one. Apple fans, get ready to party with some third-party apps. Third-party apps. Apple sure knows how to keep things in check.
They do. They sure do.
They're notorious for being super strict about what they allow on their App Store. Apple has a superhero called Gatekeeper who protects Mac users from software that's not from the App Store. But this looks like Apple is playing Gatekeeper in the digital world. That's not cool, Apple. Let's break down those monopoly walls and spread digital love. So you'll be able to get software from places outside Apple's App Store for the first time ever. Let's get wild and download all the apps we've been missing out on. Apple might be letting us go off the beaten path and download apps without going through the App Store. Also, no more fees for developers, which means more apps for us to enjoy.
Life keeps getting better and better.
Since its implementation in November 2022, the Digital Markets Act, DMA, in the European Union has mandated that gatekeeper corporations make their services and platforms available to third-party businesses and developers. The DMA is coming for Apple's platforms, and it's gonna be a wild ride. We might see some major shakeups in the App Store, Messages, FaceTime, Siri, and who knows what else. Apple is not a fan of sideloading. They're worried it'll open the door to all sorts of trouble like malware, scams, data tracking, and other sneaky stuff. They want to keep your iPhone safe and sound. However, Apple better play nice with the DMA, or they could be facing some serious coinage fines. We're talking up to 20% of their worldwide revenue. Let's hope they don't break any EU laws. Now we mentioned the iPhone 15 briefly in our script, and unlike the iPhone 14 with its overhyped dynamic island, the iPhone 15 is packing some seriously cool features that will blow your mind. So check out our next video for all you need to know about the iPhone 15.